Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantele. And we're here to recap The Amazing Race Australia episodes 4 through 6.
Woo! Yesterday was last week. Today
Yes.
is this week.
Yes.
Wow, we're just squeezing it all in here, you guys.
All of it in. All of it in. We are doing our own Amazing Race right now.
Seriously, this is a television Amazing Race. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And hello to everyone in the chat. Woo!
Who is right?
If you're like us and you crammed a bunch of episodes in today, your head is spinning, but you got to go to Greece, and so how wonderful.
I definitely have never been to Greece, and I definitely would love to go. It just seems beautiful. The men seem beautiful. And so, yeah, I would like to go and experience the Greek culture from a local.
Would love to go to Greece. It looked gorgeous, although it was way colder than you expect Greece to be.
I didn't know they got snow ever.
These racers were definitely Bo was definitely caught off guard. He was like, why is this cold?
But we did learn, though, also in episode 6 that there's some places in Australia that get snow. I was like, sorry, what?
Right. One team was like, yeah, we get snow.
I was like,
wow.
I just don't, I've never been to Australia. I just figure it's somewhere that's hot all the time. Yeah. I was surprised.
Good morning to the Aussies. I don't know why I went British there. Good
day, mate.
Oh gosh.
Good morning, mate.
I'll get into it. Yeah, you got to say mate
a little bit. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's my Aussie.
Hi, Faith. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hope you are well. School's probably starting for some of y'all, but not for me. Just television. All right, episodes 4 through 6, going to Greece. Top of episode 4 here. It says fly to Athens. And we immediately are told that Kathy and Chase are lawyers, who I say are stunningly beautiful, are on COVID quarantine. Just a quick little, hey, they've been locked down. Nothing else to it. And I was like,
now, of course, I do not want anybody's race to be derailed from, having a positive test is what most likely happened. And obviously, I want everybody else to be safe as well. But I'm kind of like, for them to just be able to rejoin and then 2 teams, or could it be 3 teams that would have went home and they haven't returned yet? It's just kind of like, I don't know if I like the fairness there because...
Oh, no, there's nothing fair about Australian television. There's nothing fair about reality TV. But Australians definitely don't care about fair. Yeah, I was like, oh, no, I love the lawyers. They're out. And then Bo's like, so they'll get to us later. And I was like, oh, right. Australia doesn't
They never
care.
like letting people go.
No, they're like, come on in whenever you want. I mean, they're famous for intruders in Australia. Like, they love, let's bring some people in halfway through the race. And you're like, what? So I'm not surprised, and that's fine. Whatever. COVID's weird, but it's weird to me that one team is being held at this point with no mention of like the crew. I mean, I do remember there was news that this season does get hit with COVID, and I don't remember the details, but it doesn't seem super messy as of yet.
So wait, you think it gets worse than this?
I think so, because I do remember it hitting the news that like there was weird stuff going on. Yeah.
Oh.
That this whole season is affected by COVID in different ways. But I read headlines and I don't spoil things for myself. So that's all I know.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, I don't want anybody to get sick or hurt or anything like that, but I am interested to see what happens.
Right. Well, so far, we think they're going to be fine and they'll be back at some point. I don't know. All right. Well, good luck to Kathy and Chase at this point. Then we get our hubbies who we love saying it's their 10-year anniversary.
So like every single leg, I'm loving them more and more and more and more and more and more. Maury, I guess, and Maury. I love them and Maury.
Oh, all right. They're going to a theater in Athens. This is right up my alley. They have to shoot a bullseye with a bow and arrow, and it is literally snowing on them, and they're also cold.
Yeah. So one thing I wrote down, I'm like, Greece has snow. Like I was as shocked as these poor people from Australia who definitely there's least likely chance that they've seen snow. I
You're
see
like,
snow every
Australia has
year.
snow? Greece has snow?
I'm like,
What?
whoa, no, weird. But I mean, it was funny to see because like it's something that's so normal for me, like people that have never seen snow before, and I'm just like, wow, what's that? I don't know what that experience would be like. I have no idea.
Oh, well, I didn't see snow until I was in my 20s for the first time.
Wow.
So I get it. It's very exciting. I
Yes.
did really silly things like run around and make snow angels because you're like,
Yeah,
ah,
of course.
snow! Yeah.
Like snow is pretty like when you're bundled up and like it's not too cold, like snow is pretty good. Like it's
Oh,
kind of
yeah. If you're dressed appropriately, I love it.
it's pretty, and you can stand outside. I guess you wouldn't have all these songs that we did when we were younger. It's like with all of the snowflakes were Hershey bars and milkshakes. Oh, what a world it would be!
What's
I would
happening in
stand
your
outside with my mouth open, I sing ah 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 ah. Ah. Oh, what a world it would be! Sorry, that's a snowy person place song. But raindrops
Okay.
is another verse, but I just did the snow verse.
Okay. Good. Okay.
You're
This
welcome.
is okay.
Free,
Thank you.
non-union
Yes.
work right here.
Yes, this is so great for Athens. Olympic Games inspired. Love that. Um, the sisters are going to get their bullseye first. They're such a strong team. Really enjoy them. Then we see the hubbies, the scientists, the teachers, and the engaged parents are sort of our top of the pack here, who are going to all get their bullseye and get out. Everyone seems to be having a great time, having lots of fun. And then towards the end of the pack is going to be our boat moms and our flamboyant friends.
What?
Our
I don't know.
last.
Wait, what's happening to them?
That's what I saw. I was like, what are y'all doing over here in the
Well, I
back of
mean,
the
they
town?
kind of were chasing the bottom a couple times, like during episode 1, 2, and 3. But I kind of felt that they were always able to come out on top. But I was like, what did they do? They didn't show really what they did to come in dead last. I guess they didn't move up a place. Is that where they started?
Oh,
Or maybe
well,
they
they're
started
all
close
like,
to.
right. They like flew in. So they are just like coming out when they come out, right? I don't believe they were held
Well, yeah, they
to
are
go out
held.
in order. Oh,
They
they
go out
are?
and they go out in their order. So they are
Oh,
released from the airport or wherever the pit stop is, starting point for each leg in the order that they arrived. So I don't know what the timed interval between each team,
yeah.
but they definitely do leave in their order.
Well, they finished 13th last
So
episode.
they
So,
shouldn't have
like, they
been that
shouldn't
bad.
be last
Yeah.
at this point.
Have you ever shot a bow and arrow before?
I don't think I have.
Me
No.
neither.
I would
Me
probably
neither.
be very awkward and not good at this. I have little jellyfish arms. I would probably just not be good at this at all, but I would try.
I would try too.
Yeah. Now we're headed to the Temple of Poseidon, where they have to recite 5 verses of an Aesop fable. Aesop fable? Aesop? However
I'll
you
say
say it.
Aesop.
They get to memorize it in the cab, and of course, I'm like, I'd nail that.
Nailed it. I mean, I hope I would. I would be so embarrassed if I didn't.
I would be. I'm very good at memorizing. I think that this would have been easy, but it's
Well,
fun
it's
to see.
rhymes. If it didn't rhyme, it might be a little bit harder. Sometimes they do on these challenges where
Did
it's
it
like,
rhyme?
didn't it? Was it supposed to?
Like it felt like there were a couple rhymes, but not the
Mm,
whole thing rhyming.
maybe.
I wasn't sure. We didn't really get like a full.
Yeah, and everybody had their own interpretation on how to present it. Some
Yes.
kind of did it as like a song or a limerick.
Uh-huh.
And so maybe with the style that people presented it, maybe
Yeah.
think it rhymed, but it actually probably didn't rhyme at all.
Right. It was definitely fun when people were like, we're gonna sing song or we're gonna like rap it, like get a little beat to it. And then some people were just like, can I memorize these words? What is next?
You
Oh
gotta make it
my
fun, as your
Yeah.
brain says no.
Yeah. Like put some movement in it, like do
Mhm.
something. I'm like, for a minute, you never know if the judge is going to be like, that wasn't good enough because sometimes they need flair.
Yep.
This judge didn't seem to need flair though.
Didn't need flair, but like they loved having the special effects with his trident,
Mhm.
trident, yeah.
Right.
When it's like with like lightning bolts coming off
Yeah.
of it, really,
It's
you
like here
failed.
and here. Yes. He was very pointy with that. The hubbies are just killing me on this edit. They're so good. He's like, memorizing is so hard for me. It's my Achilles heel. Grace!
I loved that moment. I was like, that's so cute. I smiled so I think I might have smiled or laughed. I definitely wrote it down. I was like, oh my god, that moment. Like Sarah's definitely gonna love that moment. But
Yeah.
like Achilles heel, Grease. So good. That's a clippable moment for sure.
It was so cute. The hubbies are going to mess up their first attempt here. The cops are going to mess up their first attempt, but the sisters are going to nail it. They get it on their first try, and they are going to get out first here. And our church friends are going to be able to get it on their first attempt. Then we see the hubbies get it on their second attempt.
I mean, all these front teams, I really like, and I don't know if it's because we're getting to know them more or we're seeing, how they're working in the race, but like I really am liking everyone. Another team that like slowly throughout these 3 legs that have been creeping up of my liking is actually the Dragon Boat Moms. I was like, oh, I kind of like you guys. Like they've
Yes.
definitely been growing on me, but definitely the front running teams, I'm a fan.
I enjoy the moms. They have a great like attitude, and the dementia setting in.
They're probably like 5 years older than me.
Sirs, rein it in, sirs. There's no dementia. Yeah, they're not that old. Okay, no. They're moving around just fine. All right, Sam and Alex, they're able to nail it and move up a few places here. Then we see Sam and Stu out in second to the last. This is the back of our pack here. And all of a sudden, the Baru mates are just left there last to do this.
What's
and
happening with them?
What's happening with them? Yeah. All of a sudden, they're back of the pack. I don't think of them as back of the pack people.
But they actually kind of always are.
They kind of always are now. Yeah. No, they are.
Kind of.
And this
now
is
that
not,
the 5 teams are going to be gone, like,
yeah,
back.
They put a little bit of like style to this, but they're not into the rhyming or the verse, and they seem to struggle a little bit. And honestly, it wasn't perfect, but they get past anyway. Yeah. It's like starting to get dark. Trident Poseidon guys like, I gotta go. It's cold.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. Like this is only supposed to be an 8-hour call max.
Yeah. Right? It's never an 8-hour call on this show. Detour! Our detour for episode 4 here is step up or step down. Step up is getting dressed like a soldier, an old-timey soldier, and doing the positioning, doing a little marchy, dancey thing. Or step down is making sandals. And we do get a decent split here of groups doing both challenges.
Okay, I'm a dancer, but I would 100% have done the sandals. I feel that is so much easier. I mean, especially when we're that's what I felt like to me.
Yeah.
And then when I saw how it was being done, where it's like he had 5 minutes with the guy and that was it. And then, or you can, I don't know, could you go to the back of the line and go to somebody else? Like, I wasn't sure what the rules were around that, but I just felt that it might be trickier and waiting to go again and trying again might be time consuming, at least with the sandals, you know what you have to do. And I didn't know people were gonna have trouble with a three-legged like walk.
No, that should not have been that hard.
I wasn't expecting that.
You go 1, 2, 1, 2. These people were like left, I mean inside, I mean out. What step? What?
I don't know. I mean, I've done many a three-legged race, so maybe I
Haven't we
just
all?
take for granted that it's very simple to get into a rhythm. Like you can start to like pick up the pace and do a little bit of a gallop. Like
Yeah. It's boom, 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 boom. Like he's just walking. It's honestly just walking. Like it's not that hard. I mean, I haven't even done one in probably 20 years, maybe
I
more.
feel like you nail it.
But I feel like I would kill this. But okay, it's not easy. The hubbies are going to show up first to up with the cops. And we see our Middle Eastern ladies, Crystal and Reem, are going to go do sandals first. Those are our front of the pack group here. But our flamboyant friends are going to get dressed for the up and watch the dance march and then say, we're going to change detours. Going to sandals.
At least they changed the detour in the beginning because like they would get dressed and they see what they have to do, realize that there are also in an order, realize if they get it wrong, they have to go back to the back of the line. If they know that they're not great at picking up choreography and steps, they might be like, you know what? I think it would be a better idea for us to go to the other one. So timing wise, for the first time, for spoiler alert, that they switch detours, I thought was fine. I supported it. They weren't really going to fall in placement that much by switching at this time.
That's true. I agree with you. Like they looked at it, said, this isn't our thing. And then they switched. That's much better than trying, then switching. I'm with you on that. But it's going to get worse because they're going to struggle making sandals.
I don't understand why.
Why?
I mean, I wish they showed us more so why. Like, was it because of the glue that wasn't sanded?
Yeah, like the glue, things are falling apart. Like I understand, like there could be some issues there. We definitely see the scientist siblings, like they're struggling to get it perfect.
Sure.
There could be some issues there, but the fact that they struggle so much that they are going to then switch back, knowing what the first thing is.
And now that a gazillion people have gone already,
yes.
You're definitely at the back.
Like, wow, this was really bizarre.
I'm wondering though, when they were doing the awkward three-legged walk portion, if maybe their awkwardness was tampering with the actual shoe, because like it's like held together with glue and like it's not really these super strong solid materials, I don't think. So maybe that's what was ruining the shoe. But I would have been like, if other people are able to get this, I would have stuck with the shoe if I were them. 100%. Why would you go back and start from the beginning?
We think that this was an easy task. Like what was, we do see people struggle. So we just don't fully understand why this was so hard.
Right. Like struggle. One of them was like, it wasn't flush. So like, I guess how they put like the second piece, it wasn't completely lined up. Okay. I understand that. Slash, like, why aren't you doing it perfectly the first time? But I understand like making a little bit of a mistake and having to go back and do it again. But for you to be so thrown off by it to go and switch back, knowing that you will definitely be in last place, it wasn't the choice that I would make. I thought it was a wrong decision.
All right. Well, back it up where we are soldiering, which by the way, the guy teaching it was like, I guess he's a soldier, but he's just so harsh. And I was like, he's not being nice at all. He's like left, right?
Not the cute one.
The teacher guy. I don't know. They all looked like handsome Greek men. I don't know.
Well, there was one that, the cute one, the cute, handsome Greek man, teacher, soldier guy, was the one that
was flirting with the sisters.
Yeah, flirting with the sisters, and also that gave better instructions. So that's why Angel, is that her name? Angel and Frankie wanted to switch over. Mm-hmm.
Well, we should talk about Angel and Frankie. And you mentioned yesterday that you enjoy our villain, Angel.
I'm
Are you
still okay with
still?
them. I'm still okay with
So,
them. I mean,
uh-huh.
I thought that I was like, okay, are you going to play the villain or not? So someone was mentioning the moment when they were still, I guess they were waiting in line to do their poem or whatever, their
Oh, the
fable.
verse, yeah.
And the Barista sisters run by and they said, good luck. I think it was to the cops, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, oh, good job, or you could do it, or some sort of motivation. And Angel's feeling jealous and it's like, oh, what about us? And they're like, oh, yeah, of course, you too. Yeah, of course. And it's like, wait, if you're going to play the villain, you got to be full on villain. You can't be upset if somebody doesn't say good job or go get him. Like,
I
you're
don't
not
think
fun.
Angel knows she's the villain. Because cut to, after that moment that you're talking about, cut to her being like, I'm not sure what it is that they don't like about us. We're really nice people. And I was like, you're literally the one who started this. Like, everyone was getting along until Angel showed up and was like, hey.
And she kind of snapped at one of the Barista sisters, and they're quite well liked, I feel. And
You would
so
imagine.
it's like, so then everything is probably just irritating people about them, and it's just starting to snowball, no pun intended, for later on this leg, into like a little bit of friction. Because like we even see the Barista sisters in the taxi being like kind of annoyed with them and even like mad about it. I was like,
they're like, what was her deal? And you're like, yeah, what was her deal?
I don't
It's
know what
a
her deal
bit
is.
odd. Here's my not prediction, but here's my theory. Here's my I don't know. In this moment, I said she's an Aries Sun Leo Moon.
That's what
I
you
will
think?
put money that
Oh,
Angel is an Aries Sun Leo Moon. It was just screaming at me.
Aries Sun Leo Moon. Let's see if I can
So
find
I'm
her.
going to need the chat to find her Instagram and send it to us, or her birthday, whatever you can find about Angel. There's just a lot of the world has to center around her. I think she has a combo.
Yeah, fire combo.
A
And
fire
like
combo.
probably other people are a little bit more watery, you know.
It might be just a little bit more balanced, you know. Everyone's going to have a little fire if you're going on this show.
True.
You know, you
Like we
gotta
did learn later
try.
on about our friend Reeve, who is a Cancer Sun, Leo rising. So
She told us, and we
yeah, I was
love
like,
it.
I knew I liked you.
Right.
I knew I liked you.
Yes. Was it a Leo moon or a Leo rising?
Rising, she said.
Oh, yeah. See, that's what you need. You need that Leo like perfectly placed with, you know, a Cancer sun or you know, Aquarius sun like you. Something to balance it out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be like me, hellfire. Okay. All right, our hubbies are going to eventually get out of here. The judge is going to say borderline, and I say, "Oh, you like Madonna? That's so nice."
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And then the sisters, the cops, and our churchies are out second, third, and fourth. They're on up. Then we'll go back to down because this one apparently is the harder challenge. Our Middle Eastern ladies, Crystal and Reem, are able to get out first, but our scientists are struggling. Like we said, our flamboyant friends are going to struggle so much they switch. We are going to see our scientists finally leave second to last, but that's when we lose our gents to go over to the other
detour
channel, back to the other detour. Yeah.
I still care for them a lot, but I am worried for our scientists because I feel as though they had a better handle on the race in the beginning, and usually you'd want people to improve, and it seems like they're getting worse. And so, but they have a great attitude. No matter what, they're still enjoyable and lovely people. I just want them to be doing better.
I do too. Sometimes, though, people who are very detail oriented get too lost in the details, right? I feel like that might be their issue, where they think they're doing something really well and then they have got lost and messed something up, you know? So I agree. I so enjoy watching them, though. So I hope they can kind of pull it together here.
Please.
Well, you better be hungry, guys. It's time to eat some spanakopita. Why does no one know what spanakopita is?
I don't know, but if they don't know what spice is, they're not going to know what spanakopita is.
Is that what the casting directors like specifically asked? Like, how cultured are you? Like, how much do you know?
Anything before?
Yeah. Spanakopita is delicious.
It's definitely something that there's like a really nice one from one of like Whole Foods or like one of those kind of high-end grocery stores
Yes.
that's just like so good that I always bring to parties. I'm like, oh, can you just pop this in the oven? And it's always a hit. So I definitely love that as a party, like bite-sized food bringing.
My local Whole Foods does a vegan spanakopita for me. And
and it has like, is it sweet potato or squash?
No, I mean, it's still spinach, but they do like, I don't know, like a cashew cheese or something. I don't know.
I'm obsessed. Okay, I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, check it out.
I love any time you have any nut cheeses. I think that they're so good.
So good. So,
yeah.
They have changed my life since like nut cheeses have become a thing.
Have you ever had like a full-on cheese board with like just like all different nut cheeses?
Ooh, no.
That, I mean, it's extremely expensive.
Yes,
but it's so delicious. It's kind of like you just like you can eat. You feel like you could eat more of it because you're just like not going to feel sick. It's just like nuts. It's yummy.
We say spanakopita, which I think is how the Greek says it. I think that's how he was saying it.
I think I say spanakopita, but I don't think that's
well, the Australians were saying spanakopita.
Spanakopita, I think is how they were saying it. Spanakopita.
I think our little Greek baker guy, though, said spanakopita.
Spanakopita. He was so cute in his little chef's hat. Like,
he was so excited to be there. He was like, "This is my episode. Let's go."
He's probably can't wait to tell his whole family. They're probably gonna go sit around and watch the episode. Like,
yes,
so cute.
It was cute. All right, our sisters are gonna get there first, while our hubbies are gonna run around lost. They're going to lose some time here.
I guess they just had to feed each other. And I was like, is it just to be doing something other than eating some spanakopita?
Because spanakopita is delicious. No one's going to like gag and spit this up.
Well, so except for the hubbies. But I think it was just because they were panting and they were shoveling food in their mouth. And so I think that's why they were gagging. But yes, there was a gag.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little dry. Like, it's not like a moist. I mean, I don't know. The spinach is moist, but the pastry's dry.
I mean, that's a pretty big bit to eat all at once without having any sort of liquid with it. So I can understand it getting a little bit pasty.
All right. Carolyn does confirm there is spanakopita in Australia. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I would think it would be served everywhere here, or there.
Our couple and our churchies are going to be in and out second and third, and our hubbies are going to finally show up and eat in fifth place at this point. Then the back of the pack are mullets, our scientists, and our flamboyant friends. That's how this is going down.
So then I hear maybe eliminated. I was like, what? Like, it was like so clear that it was a maybe. I was like, you got so many teams and you're not going to eliminate one. Come on, Australia.
I was like, you're just tricking us right now, right? Because we have to eliminate so many people. Come on. But we are going to have an elimination in this one. This one is going to be eliminated. Let's get to our pit stop here. In first place, controversial Angel and Frankie, our friends who met at church. Now, let's take some guesses here on their dynamic.
Is he in love with her?
Is he in love with her? Is he just waiting for her to finally
realize that it's him?
Yeah.
Like maybe they've been going to church together since they're kids. They're like, if I'm not married by the time I'm 30, let's get married. Like maybe it's one of those stitches.
She clearly is not into him. So I hope that that's not the case, because stop waiting, dude, or stop trying.
Maybe he might just wait forever, you know? Okay, or find somebody else and then she'll get jealous and then she will like,
and you know she would. She'd be like, how dare you spend time with this other person? And
right, I'm not giving you what you need at all, but you should still be fawning all over me.
Right. Yeah, she will definitely struggle if he moves on. I feel like that's the dynamic they have going on. Second place, my faves, or I have a lot of faves. Lauren and Steph, our couple here, come in second. Third place, Flick and Gabby, our sisters.
They were so shocked. They thought they were last place and they were third. And it was like,
Last place.
Last place? No.
You didn't get that turned around. Yeah, like you lost a couple spots here. You should have been first. They got a little lost and they came in third, but they genuinely were like, "Is this it? Is this over?"
Oh, third. Okay.
Then Paco and Lori, our adorable hubbies, are going to come in fourth. And then Crystal and Rain, way to get in the top 5 there. Our Middle Eastern ladies. Tiffany and Cynthia are 6th place, our aunt and niece.
Surprisingly, like it was like, oh, I keep on forgetting who they were up until this point. I was like, who are they? They don't really get showcased very much.
Oh, thank you, Ellen. Angel's birthday is June 8th.
Oh, she's 33.
That's
June 8th.
Not an Aries.
But maybe she's maybe she has an Aries moon then, and maybe she's a Leo rising, maybe.
Yeah. Does that make her a Cancer?
No, June's Gemini, babe.
Oh my God, it's still Gemini? I was like,
June's most of June is Gemini.
Yeah. I'm not really good at the dates on that. Gemini. Well, maybe that's why things fly out of her mouth.
Because like in the Gemini's fall is going to be like maybe some of the negative traits of Sagittarius. So it could be that.
Which there's none of. Oh, all right. Interesting. Thank you for that. All right. Yeah. Our aunt and niece here, they're not actually like characters for a show, right?
Well, you think that they would be. Because like they kind of the interesting things to say. They're kind of funny. They kind of like complain a little bit, but like not enough to be featured at all.
Yes, thank you. I'm just realized I should write this down. June 8th. We'll look that up if she's 33.
Yeah, we can find her where she was born.
Yeah, I mean, this is knowing what's going to happen in the next 2 episodes. Like, this is a good placement, 6th here. But I am a little disappointed that they're just not great television. It doesn't seem like, so we're not getting them in the edit more than
being in the race right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not getting a lot of character from them. 7th place is Stuart and Glennon.
So in the middle here.
Our bar roommates. Yes, good place for them. 8th place, Chelsea and Jameis, our engaged parents, who we enjoy, although they're going to have some struggles.
I don't remember what it was, but I wrote down that there was a confessional with them, and I wrote ha 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 ha. But I don't remember.
Yeah, they had quite a few confessionals, and I don't remember if it's this episode or the next where she's just like, get me out of here. I need to wake up tomorrow with a new day. Like, she just was not in a good mood. I think it was this episode.
Yeah, I think it's the one where he was like, oh, she hates when I compliment her. And like, but she was complimenting him, and he was like saying thank you or something. I'm just like, oh, I'm going to take away your compliments. Or like, they're just so functioning dysfunctional.
And he was like, I am here to make her feel better. And she's like, get out of my face. I don't want. So he's like yells at him. And I'm like, ah. And then he's like, I'm used to it. And she's like, how dare you? It's like, he's clearly used to this because you're verbally abusing him on television. But that is like totally their dynamic. I don't know.
I mean, she might watch it back and be like, wow, I don't necessarily like that side of me. So hopefully she'll have a little bit of a healing learning moment.
Right. I'm always interested if people are like, yep, that's what I do. Or if they're like, oh.
Remember, what was their name? They just won on their second time around.
Colin and Christy. Are you talking about US? Colin and Christy, yeah. Right. Once you see it, you're like, namaste.
Maybe that's not what I want to share with anybody, much less the world. So
let's go in and
what sign do you think she is? I think Capricorn.
Chelsea. Yeah, it's hard to say. A lot of us have this trait. So I mean, we know she runs things and organizes things. So yeah, she could be an earth sign. She could be Capricorn or Virgo. Although she doesn't seem to be like detail.
True. No, I feel like Yeah.
Could be a Capricorn, but she's got like probably Sagittarius in there where she says whatever just comes out of her mouth. Yep. That could be troublesome. Jody and Claire are boat moms who we are just enjoying a lot here. 9th place. Way to go. Top 10. Kelly and Georgia. Our teachers, our new.
I always forget who it is, and I think it's just because the name Kelly, I always just associate with a woman. Even though I know a lot of Kellys can be men, but it just makes me. I'm like, who is that again? Which couple? And then I remember.
They did so well in their first leg. It's kind of surprising to see them back in 10th place here, but got all these.
Yeah, they're also a team that is a little lackluster, and
I feel like they're both a little neurotic, and so I hope that comes into play and we get more of their edit, because I think that could be entertaining if we get to see more of it. 11th place is Heath and Tony. I hate to call them Enduring Love, but the married couple.
That's another team I always forget who it is as well, because I also associate Tony with a Y and be like, I know there's lots of female Tonys, but just first thought, I'm like, who's that again? But then I remember.
12th place, Fliss and Toddy, our little kids. 13th place, Morgan and Lily, our blondes. 14th place, Sam and Stu, mullets. And 15th place, Tammy and Vincent, our scientist siblings. And like this back of the pack does make sense. Like this does feel like who we're seeing in the back. Now, Tammy and Vincent got in a cab at this point and then reread their clue where it says, you must go on foot. Luckily, they jump right out of the cab and they are able to not lose a spot here because we do get some editing. So they come in 15th, leaving my favorite team of all, Sam and Alex, the flamboyant friends, and they are eliminated.
Well, and I was thinking, so when I heard the first May be eliminated and I saw how poorly they were doing, I'm like, oh, they're throwing in a non-elim because they like them and they want to keep this team in the race. So I automatically thought they're coming in last and they're staying in the race. Like, I was like 100% wrong.
Yeah, nope.
I was wrong.
You are 100% wrong. I was devastated. I was almost teary, almost, not really, but I was very sad that this is way too soon for me. They were absolute entertainment.
They were, and I did enjoy watching them try to do things. I wish they just had stuck with the damn shoe or stuck with the damn dance at the beginning.
They should have just stuck with the dance at first because it was not difficult for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, we didn't really see how long they were there, to be honest, but
that's true.
True. Like, if they had stuck through it, they would have watched so many people go ahead of them. Like, they wouldn't have lost as much time. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's the part of the only strategy of the race is knowing when to switch if you're having trouble. Like, that's what is in your control about the race. And so they did a poor job here.
Yeah. I mean, when it looked like because Tammy and Vincent got in the cab and I was like, oh, the guy,
I would have been more upset. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. Like, because like they obviously both made mistakes. Sam and Tammy and Vincent didn't do great at the shoe, but Sam and Alex blunder is bigger. So it kind of helps it feel a little bit better that's when they went on such a big blunder.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
like if they just didn't stick it through, and if they had, they probably would have placed earlier than maybe even more than just one team.
Yeah. The next elimination that we get is not going to feel, I mean, this one feels bad, but the next one's going to be worse is what I'm saying. But let's not get there yet. Okay. Episode 5 is up next. And we are headed to Santorini. Over these 3 episodes, they cover the entire country of Greece.
Sash, we didn't mention how handsome Mr. Greece was at the mat. Sorry, continue.
I mean, I honestly didn't think he was that handsome, but it was a fun bit. It was a fun bit, right? But I mean, he's handsome. I'm not saying he's not handsome.
Mr. Greece, yes.
Yeah. I just enjoy when Bo has fun with these people, and he's like, the most handsome man. He's like, give him a hug. Wait, stop hugging him. It's like, Bo is so fun. But that's right, Mr. Grease. Forgot about him. I didn't write that down.
Sorry, I just saw it down there. I'm like, I just need to shout him out because he's cute.
Yeah. Santorino, we are departing in order, and we are self-driving, you guys. Manual, of course, and opposite side of the street. Give it
and 35 euros that they're going to be receiving at the beginning of this leg of the race. We haven't seen money in a while, so it's going to be needed for something, I would assume.
Yep. They clearly tell us 35 for this leg of the race. Okay, keep that in mind. The detour is hustle or bustle. Hustle, you are going to sort through seafood, trying to weigh it specifically. And bustle is repair the fishing net. We've seen this recently in the US.
They just did it. Did it. I think I would choose the hustle, the fish one.
I think so too.
Because it's something that you can control. And we do learn with the guy that is demonstrating the net fixing, he doesn't speak. So you kind of have to just watch. And you might not be that great at that, or I might not be that great at that. So I think I would do the fish one because I can control it a little bit better.
Yeah, because you know that the net one is going to be detail oriented, like, got to figure this thing out. But if you can just grab food and weigh and like figure it out, that's just going to go quicker. So yeah, I would lean towards that, even though I'm sure I could repair a net if need be. I sew, I make things, and I knit.
I knit a little bit. Like, I know how to knit and purl.
All right, churchies are going to arrive first at Bustle. They're going to repair this net. They watch the guy. Angel's like, hello, hello. Now it makes sense. She's a Gemini. She's like, why isn't he talking back to me? Just watch him.
Well, and also, though, maybe that's also why she's not realizing that she's not getting along with people, because they're usually social butterflies. They usually bounce around to people. They usually like spreading information.
Yes.
And so she's probably never really experienced people not enjoying her Gemini-ness. So that's probably what's happening. And they're probably just not signs that mesh that well with Geminis.
This actually makes a lot of sense now that I know she's a Gemini. Because when the aunt and niece show up, she's saying it out loud. Only a Gemini says it back out loud. Like, they're looking, they're learning. They're like, 1, 2, 3. And she's like, 1, and then he's going to do it again. And then he's going to, and then she sees that they've made a mistake. Meanwhile,
and she's like, but not wanting to say something. Like, that's where you have to stop and start again.
Yep.
I don't know why they just like, well, let's just see. Let's just continue to the end and see, just to know that you're going to get it wrong.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Oh, you're doing it completely wrong and you think you're going to be fine?
You're not going to be fine.
Undoing it at that moment. I mean, they say they're more than halfway done, but that is less done than when you finish.
Right. So either switch detours at that moment or undo it all and restart. Those are your two options.
Yeah. The aunt and niece are just going to be like, we're going to do it ourselves. They do it right, and they're going to get out of there first. And shocker, church friends are going to get it wrong. And then they're going to say, I don't want to take the time to redo it. So we'll just take the time to switch detours.
Maybe they were super close and we just couldn't tell the distance between them. But like, now that you know how to do it, you think that you could just like bang it out really quickly. Was there maybe not anybody else at that detour? So like they were feeling like they want to maybe see other people so they know where they are in the race?
That's possible.
I'm trying to figure out why they wouldn't just redo it.
Here. Yeah. No, when they said we're going to change detours, I was like, you know that they both of these things take time. So, but I do think, your mind plays tricks with you at this point, and you think, oh, I don't want to redo this. I'll just go do this other thing that I don't have a concept of how much time it takes, right?
It definitely wouldn't be the decision that I would make, because this would be a known entity that I know what it takes now to complete, instead of going into the unknown territory where you don't even know if you're going to be great at.
Yeah.
And
it would
it's going
make
to take
sense
time.
that they were right next to each other, because we're like at this like seaport
Mm-hmm.
thing. So maybe they could see it and thought, we'll just do that. So they are going to switch detours at this point. But over at Hustle, we see the cops have arrived first. Heath and Tony are enduring love couple, and the hubbies are the ones who are able to get it done and out first. But then we start to see how teams work together. The bar roommates give their stuff to Crystal and Reem, our Middle Eastern lady. They just give it to them.
Is that allowed? I don't know if that's allowed. Should it be allowed? I know there's no rule, like there's no fairness in the race, but is that fair?
I don't care if it's fair. I think it's just dumb. I think don't give someone your work. I understand helping, but this task does lean towards, I'm just going to set mine down over here. I guess I could just like pick it up and put it in another box, and I've done it, but like they're not even doing that. They're just like, here, and they hand it over.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do that.
I mean, these dudes are very nice. It's very nice of them. I just don't know that I would do it. And then Angel.
Oh dear. Poor Angel.
Excuse me. Can we have them after you? I mean, who asks this? Who?
No, it's like, well, we're in last place. We're last. Can we just have yours? And it's like,
they're like, we've been here for a while. There's other people who've been here for a while. Like, why am I giving you?
We're not even friends.
Right?
It was a strange ask.
It was a very strange ask. I was very proud of Crystal and Reem for just being like, no. Mm-mm. It's a game. It's a race. What?
And with two people that generally do very well. Like, they've been coming in the front of the pack for most of these legs. So, like, to be giving them an advantage to, like, potentially move past you, it's like, sorry, guys. It's like, we're not friends and you're good.
Yeah. No. I would definitely be like, nah. Yeah, this blew my mind that she even asked. But I guess, hey, what does it hurt to ask? So then we see them and the parents.
Oh God, what happened there? What happened?
They're just not enjoying their time in Greece. They are just struggling.
Well, what did they see on their dashboard to make them think that they needed to go and put gas in the car?
Okay, so he saw an engine light. He saw some sort of light.
Doesn't everybody just drive with that engine light on forever?
Yes. Always drive it till it's dead, especially if you're in a race. Like, what are you going to do? Go pull over to a mechanic? No, you're in a race. Keep driving the car. But I think she went into like problem solving mom mode, right? She's like, oh, there's a light. We were given money. Is our gas tank? We probably need to get gas.
I think that they would have, I mean, I understand her rationale. I do. But like, I feel like the clue would say this, like, used it for gas to fill up the car, if that was part of like the Amazing Race task of this leg, like, you're going to be on empty, so use the money to fill up your gas, make sure you get unleaded or diesel or whatever it is. If it was part of the actual race, I was just like, you need the money for something. This is going to be a problem.
Yeah, because then when she just spends all of the money on gas, that was my.
Did they not leave them a full tank though? That's another thing. I was like, why wouldn't they give these racers a full tank of gas?
Right. It should have been a full tank of gas, you would imagine. But he does eventually realize when they get back in, oh, we had a half tank. Oh, I see. We had a half tank of gas, which is probably what they needed for the day, I guess. But I was like, oh my God, they stopped unnecessarily. And then she spent all of the money. I'd have put $10 in. I would have been like, or euros. I would have been like, I'm not spending all of my money here. I don't even know if this is how I'm supposed to spend my money.
It was shocking to me. I was like, what's happening? Why are they at the gas station? What's going on? What are they doing here? What? Stop it, guys. You're going to need your money for something. You're going to need the money for something.
Now is when they realize what they need their money for, because they are now driving to this port place with a gazillion steps. And it says on the clue, you will be buying your tickets with your 35 euros. Like you said, it will say in the clue what you need to spend the money on.
And it's not like old Amazing Race days where you would get money and that you could save money up and like, use it to, I don't know, get a taxi if you need a taxi. You know what I mean? Like it's not part of the race like it was like 10 or plus years ago. So yeah. I would think that if they gave you money for the first time in 5 legs or 4 legs, that it would be for something specific.
Yeah. And I think also the lesson here that hopefully they're learning is, put 2 heads on it. He said there was a light. She jumped to the conclusion instead of the both of them looking at the light and figuring it out. I think they had that sort of rushing in a race thing going on and didn't quite put the details together, but they're going to figure it out here. I thought they were going to be screwed completely, but they're not. All right, let's go to these port steps. Was it 516?
Yes, 516.
Okay, that's what I wrote down.
Is that the same steps that they just did also where they had to carry up the 6 bottles of, or 18 bottles of, however many bottles of wine?
Where they ate the mac and cheese at top?
Yeah. Oh, no. I don't know if the mac and cheese was at top there, but when they had to carry up the wine bottles and they were trying to do 6 at a time, and then they break the wine bottles on the stairs and they had to get up to the top. They had to bring the little tiny bottle for like the gnome.
Right.
And there was a party at the top of the stairs.
That, I feel like that was in a town. That didn't look like these stairs to me.
Okay.
But I'm sure we've seen these stairs somewhere. In something. And like one of these teams says, I think it's the aunt. She was like, they love their stairs and I'm not about it.
I mean,
they really do.
I would be cursing. Like, I would not be pleasant. I would be full on Chelsea mode going up these stairs. Like, I think I've told you before, but once in Vancouver, I was working and with this group of people were doing promotion stuff. And they're like, hey, like we're off early. Let's go and hike the Chief. Like it's something fun. And it's basically hiking one of the mountains in Vancouver. And like, I remember going up and it's basically like rock steps, you know what I mean? Going up these rock steps. And they're like trying to motivate me. I'm like, shut up. Don't talk to me. And I'm just like head down, just doing step by step. And like, I'm already dying, like exhaustion. And it says, smile, you're a quarter of the way there. And I was just like, it's so bad. And like pulling yourself up on like, there's like a rope pulling thing. And then their ladder. And like, it was so bad. The view was amazing at the top. Yeah, but like those stairs were hell. I couldn't walk the next day. And I was like, why do people do this for fun? You guys are psychotic.
No, stairs are hard. And these people are really going to start struggling. And yeah, I like that they were like, give the donkey a break. I was like, then leave him down at the bottom.
Please.
Don't make the donkey go up there. Jeez. But no, they're going to have to grab their stuff. They're going to have to take a donkey and they're going to have to head on up 516 steps. Heath and Tony, they're there first, loving the view, living their best life, hiking up these stairs. Second place, the moms, not loving it.
No.
Not about this life.
I mean, I wouldn't have been happy. I'd have been so happy to be done. But I would not have been happy. I'd have been very grouchy.
Yeah, they're just going to struggle here a bit. Chelsea and Jameis have to stand outside and ask everyone for their change to scrounge up enough for their tickets, but they do it.
I mean, I was impressed that like everybody was okay with it. I think they asked Sam and Stu. They gave him some money. I think the cops gave him some money, and so like. I'm impressed by the kindness because if I was in like game race mode, I'd be like, what if I need some more?
Oh,
right? I might just like walk by fast, like, oh, I didn't see it.
You're like, oh, did you need to? I'm sorry, I'm already in.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah. Oh,
You're
next
talking to
time.
me? Oh, okay. So sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if it's my change and I know that you have to get it from several people, I'd probably be less inclined to say no. I'd be like, here's my dollar, because it didn't, or €1. It didn't look like it was a lot of change they were getting back. So I thought it was going to take several people.
Well, maybe they.
It's hard to tell.
I mean, I'm trying to guess like what the price could be. 35 euros. Like you'd think that they'd give them exact amount of money, but maybe it was only 15 euros each, and there was an extra 5 euros. So maybe then they don't only had to like, get 6 people to give them some money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The donkey is just going to pull Sam along here for a little bit until it just then runs away. Sam and Stu have a little bit of a struggle here with their donkey. They have to get a second one. Our poor Middle Eastern ladies, I don't remember if it was Crystal or Reem, but one of them just like can't even breathe as they're going up here. And then our aunt and niece, Tiffany and Cynthia, are lost looking for a car park at Three Bell Church or whatever this is, and literally realize they're already there.
I don't know. I don't understand what happened with them. Because they left in the big front, in the front of the pack, right? They were first, and then they just disappeared and nowhere to be seen.
This is not their leg. They are confused, not good navigationally. I'm picking up here. And then when they get to the stairs, they're just like so defeated, not loving this. They know they're last. It's getting dark. You hate when you're the last one there. And I honestly was shocked they did not take a penalty.
Well, like poor things though, getting to the top of the stairs with the donkey, and then getting the roadblock. Who wants to fly or whatever? They had to go do parkour.
Yes.
Like I was like, oh, this poor thing. Like there was nothing that anybody would want. Like I would not want to do parkour after the day that they're probably having. Like hopping from wall to wall and doing a somersault. Like they were so unimpressed.
They were over it. They were like, please don't make us. But speaking of that, the boat moms, the dragon boat moms were so hilarious. I mean, they were in second place at this point, but I'm sorry, I don't know which one is which, but the one that was like really dragging behind, and she was like, I hate this. I hate the stairs. This is horrible. And then they read the clue about the roadblock. And then for some reason, she's like, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
I was like, oh, other one.
Don't do. You're gonna hate your life.
Yes. Why is the other one not obvious? Like, no, I got it. You seem to be struggling right now. Like,
she was so exhausted. Like, they did a clip for a commercial where it looked like she wasn't going to make the jump, and I was like, oh my god, is she going to fall down? Like, this is bad. I was scared for her. Yeah, like not having a lot of energy, legs being jelly, like having to hop from like one thing to another. Like the distance is going to probably look far. Like. I would not be.
Oh my god. Yeah. I was like, is she about to eat it? This is not what I want to see. Oh, she was so funny though. All right, but let's start at the top though. So the clue is who can fly like the wind, and no one literally at this point because they're all exhausted. But the parkour is actually fairly, I don't want to say easy, but it's not super difficult, right? It's like, can you step over a thing? And then can you step up on the thing?
And you had to do 3 out of 5 of these moves, and one of the moves is like a step, literally, or like a 2-foot jump.
Yeah, and then it's like a roll on your back. Like everyone can roll on their back.
Somersault, it's fine.
We all did that at like 5. So yeah, it's not horrible here, but I do know that everyone is exhausted. Gabby is the sister who does this, and she kills it. She's in and out first. Then Heath is able to get in and out second. But our sweet little mom finally gets there, and she's like, but she can't lift her legs. So she can't even get 3 of the 5 at first. She's not passed. And this guy's like, you can do it.
He's definitely was very motivating.
She's like, I hate you. But she does get it.
I was happy for her, and I felt bad for her at the same time, and I was laughing at her at the same time.
I felt so bad for her, but I really laughed because the like last little roll, she just kind of like falls down, and she's like, "I'm done. Good, great, get to move on."
He's like, "Yeah, good, yeah, here you go."
Really funny towards the end of the pack here, though. We see our Baru mates. Stuart is not nailing this, and he says, this is some white boy shit.
This is a white person thing. What is this? And I was thinking about it. I was like,
It is.
Parkour
is absolutely.
Because I don't know any. I mean, there might be, but like any super famous parkour people that are of color.
No, when you think about parkour, you just see a bunch of white dudes. Yeah. Absolutely. Reem is barely going to get through this. She's struggling. And then of course, our aunt and niece show up last to get this done. That's our last
just like
part of the pack. Like, what? But again, I have to say, I'm very impressed they did not take any time penalties.
Thank you.
I think the last time, they got scared. It didn't work out.
That would terrify me. And maybe the racing gods rewarded that.
Exactly. This pit stop had Yaya, our little old lady, was slaying me. At first, she's like, she's like, not speaking any English, obviously. Bo doesn't know what she's saying. She doesn't know what Bo's saying. And then but she's clearly like, where is everybody? Let's get this show on the road. What's happening? And then she like pieces out at one point. She's like, we're good.
Okay. Out of here. It's getting late. She's just like, she reminds me, when I was living in Vancouver, I used to be like part of this flamenco like group. And so I think it was Thursdays, there was like a show that we could go to. And there's this older woman that looks exactly like her that would get up on the stage and do like a little dance and like sing. And like, I could just see her like singing and like being like the life of the party at like the wedding. She was very cute and curmudgeon at the same time.
Right, exactly. But she did like seem to care, like these first few teams that she actually was there for. She was like, like when it finally got going, she was into it. All right, team number 1, Heath and Tony, our married couple. They actually get a prize, $5,000 travel voucher.
I'd love that.
It's not every leg though, guys.
Not every leg.
Paco and Maury, our hubbies, come in second place. Flick and Gabby, our barista sisters, third place. Fourth place is Fliss and Toddy. Where'd our kids come from all of a sudden?
I don't even, I have it written down here, but I don't even remember them being that great at this leg.
They're getting very little airtime, but they moved up in the pack. Good for them. And then top 5 here, Kelly and Georgia, our teachers, our newlywed teachers. This feels like what they're supposed to be,
Yeah.
Last time they
Top
were.
the pack.
Yeah, exactly. All right, 6th place, Chelsea and Jameis.
Dysfunction, but functional. Like something about it works.
Exactly.
Maybe not next episode, but something about it works.
It doesn't always work. Sometimes it works. Vincent and Tammy, our scientist siblings, are going to come.
Where I want them to be.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Stay here. Stay right here. Jody and Claire are 8th. That's our boat moms. They did it. Powered through. Angel and Frankie, 9th place. Our church friends. And 10th is Sam and Stu. Rounding out top 10 here are mullets. 11th place is Steph and Lauren, our cop couple. How'd they get so far back? What happened?
I don't remember what happened.
I think they just got passed with the stairs. Yeah. Slowed down a little bit. Morgan and Lily are 12th place. Those are our blondes. 13th place is Stuart and Glennon, our bar roommates. They got through it. They got there 13th. 14th, Crystal and Reem, our Middle Eastern ladies, pull it out at 14th, leaving our aunt and niece, Tiffany and Cynthia, who have been a struggle bus this whole leg. They're going to come in last place, but because they didn't take a penalty, the Amazing Race gods were shining down on them, and it is a non-elimination.
And I was just thinking of like, okay, good on you guys, non-elimination legs. But they kind of seemed like they wanted to have been eliminated. To me, it seemed like they were kind of like, oh, okay, great. And I was like, oh, I would have rather the team that just got eliminated stayed. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wish it was a different order.
I do wish that was a different order for sure. This is a team that I don't think is going to win, so I'm going to be okay when they go. Mm-hmm. But I'm also like, what? Why are we having a non-elimination?
Well, I was like that as well. And then I was like, well, if we're having one here, why wouldn't you save a team that I liked or cared about, you know? Yeah, I'm sure they're lovely people, but they haven't been bringing it entertainment-wise for me.
Exactly. There's a gazillion. We're history making a number of people in this. We don't need a non-elimination.
Not yet. We need some doubles. Let's get some doubles. Get them hustling even more. Double elimination.
Alrighty, let's move on to the last episode of this Greek week, episode 6. We're headed to a big fat Greek wedding. We're also heading into a blizzard.
Whiteout.
This is a really cute edit at the top here because everyone is basically going to show up to pick a wedding dress, and one person has to pin the money notes on the dress. And so most of the women choose to do the pinning. And so we see a lot of men in wedding dresses, which is fun. And everyone's we're getting packages about different weddings of all of our different pairs here. Everyone's sort of laughing and playing. It was kind of just a cute edit here at the top.
And what I also really liked about it is that some people took a little bit of creative license with how they were placing each note. And like some of them had it was like a sweeping along the dress where they pinned them. It was $10,000 or 10,000 euros that they had to do, which is quite a few notes. And so I definitely liked seeing all the different interpretation of these wedding dresses. I thought that was fun. It was a kind of like a little bit of what's that show?
Project Runway.
Yeah, thank you. Little Project Runway-y, you know?
Right? Yeah, I was like, this is a lot of money blowing around in the wind. I am somebody who is like a penny pincher. And so money literally blowing around gives me anxiety.
Well, I've had
everyone get the money.
So I don't know what would have happened to you, but when I was about 15 or 16, I was walking to my friend's house, and I was walking up down Yonge Street from like North York where school was, and I see something like this on the ground, and I was like, what is that? And I walk up, and there's another thing like this flapping on the ground, another thing like this, and then I see like a paper bag, and I found a bag of cash. I was like just going around picking up money off the ground, no identifiers on it, like nothing. So I was like, I'm like 15 years old, 16 years old. And I was like, hey guys, I got a bag of cash. Let's go buy like instant noodles and like beer. But like, I found a bag of cash. Literally.
What? Someone robbed a bank and like dropped it?
I'm thinking that it was maybe like drug money or something, and like they just dropped, maybe they're running from the cops or something. They just dropped it and we're just running. I don't know. But it's not really like a you know, it's North York. It's not like a risque neighborhood or anything, but yeah, I found a bag of cash. So
that's hilarious. That's like the like my husband and I, Douglas and I, will be like, all right, so if you found a bag of cash, do you like, these are scenarios we play in our head, and you literally
found a bag of cash. When I was younger, I used to find money all the time. Like I remember being in a change room. I saw a $50 bill on the ground. I was like, oh, okay. Like at a store. I was like, thank you.
What do you have
many times?
What do you have?
8th house?
Yeah.
I don't have Jupiter. Jupiter is my second house though.
Jupiter
second house. 8th house is Mars and Mercury and Sun.
Oh wow.
And then some asteroids.
A bunch of stuff in that 8th house, huh? Maybe that stuff is like working with your Jupiter, and
I think in my 5th house I have Scorpio as well.
Wow.
I
You find
like in bank
money.
machines. Like I find money in bank machines all the time. Like
What?
yeah, like people that
Oh
don't
my
take their money
God.
out, and I was like, and I see it, I was like, there's nothing there. Like I'm like, I guess it's mine.
Oh my God. I have Jupiter in the eighth, and that's the life I want to live. I'm like, where's it? Give me other people's money. That is,
Yeah, I'm definitely
you
lucky
got
in the
it.
money department in that way.
Love it. All right. Well, they have just some warm up stairs of just like, what was it,
Sure.
200 or something? Yeah, these
Yeah.
producers are just rude. This felt more like that wine, those stairs.
Maybe that's what I was picturing. Like, and I'm just mixing up which stairs were where.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just feel like I remember them
Yeah.
being a lot of stairs, though. But
Yeah, right. Well, apparently Greeks loves their stairs. Okay, Heath is in the dress and Tony is pinning first. The wind is kicking up, money is flying everywhere. Sarah gets stressed. And then this is when Crystal tells us that she's a Cancer Leo rising.
I wrote that down too. The important things I wrote down.
Yes.
I wrote down, dang all those stairs, and then Reem is a Cancer, Leo rising. Like,
Oh, it was Reem?
literally.
I thought it was Crystal.
Oh, maybe I could be mistaking their names. I'm just assuming that they have to stand in the order where their name is up. And so
right.
I believe it was Reem's person like in front of that name.
Well, it's the one who is Muslim who wears a headscarf, because we get a little package about how she pins her headscarf. She's going to steal these pins because she's running low. And she's like, I've got a great technique because I do this every day, which I think this is a really fun edit. And then we get to have her sign. Okay, it is Reem. Okay, thank you.
But now, from what she was describing, it would seem to me to be the only way to pin these notes, right? Like this, I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong, but what I would do is like I'd put the note up, I would put it in one side through the note and the dress. I'd go underneath a bit and I'd come out on the other side. I'd actually probably do it on a diagonal. That's what I probably would do. Is there any other way to do it? Like what were other people doing?
What the other people, because anyone who has any sewing thing would do the way you're saying, but they're just like poking in and then like feeling their way out. That's like a rookie way of doing it. You're just like poke in and then you just
so
like
it's not flat enough. It's just too kind of okay.
Well, you just don't have control. If you're just like in and then you're just like feeling your way out, there's no control. But like if you go bloop, you just like a lot quicker, you're in and out. Yes. Anyone who has sewing like past, that's exactly how you would do it. And then like poor Tammy and Vincent are just like sticking it in so that it can just like slide off. Like they didn't think that through at all.
But like, how many did you have to do to realize that technique wasn't working?
Yeah, a
learning curve.
Yeah. The hubbies are gonna finish pinning first. They're gonna skip ahead here a little bit. They're gonna spin successfully. They're living their best lives right now. They're loving it, and they're gonna get out here first.
He loved being in that wedding dress, and like he was just so pleasant.
He's talking about this is the dress he wanted. He's loving this. This would have been his wedding. He was mad he had to wear a suit. I was like, you didn't have to wear a suit. Who made you wear a suit? Somebody made him wear a suit. Okay, our married couple, our sisters, and our cop couple are going to get out second, third, and fourth here. Crystal and Reem they lose a note when they're spinning, so they're going to have to redo. And then our back of our pack here, we see Sam and Stu finishing second to last, and Vincent and Tammy are the last place, and that was not even a twirl. This is how he spun. But again, they're like, fine, get out of here. Like there's a bus waiting.
So yeah, you're left. I definitely thought it was interesting having to like race for these buses. Like I think that was like a nice kind of little twist, because like you see that Reem and Crystal, I don't know if it was before this task or after this task, I'm confused, but they were like, oh, I don't know if I want to run, like, but then they do run and they're able to make it onto the 8th spot of the bus. And so I do find that.
I got excited when all of a sudden they're starting to tell us about like these 2 buses, and the first 8 are gonna like get this head start, right? And then the second bus has to wait for
Wait
the
for the
last
last
8.
person. It's so rude.
That is amazing stress that we didn't get enough of, honestly. I think because of the blizzard and other stuff, like it didn't get to play into the edit, but like I wanted to see the people like so mad at Tammy and
Well,
Vincent.
they were kind of like, yeah, you're finally here. Like they seemed actually
Yeah.
okay with it. But
Yes. I was like,
I
where's
was
my
like,
edit?
I would have been like, oh my God, hurry up. Like I'd been
Yeah.
so like, yeah, I would have been on
But
edge.
like you said, Crystal and Reem are going to, even though they technically the Dragon
Left
Boat
ninth.
moms left 8th, Crystal and Reem leave 9th. They are able to pass them and get on that first bus. So that's the hubbies, our cops, our married couple, our parents, our sisters, our teacher newlyweds, and our churchies with our Middle Eastern ladies are our first bus.
And I was like, I mean, I really like you, moms, but I wanted Crystal and Reem to get on this bus this time. I wanted them to be there because it seems like when they flounder, they do worse than when the moms are kind of not doing well. Like it just seems like they need the cushion, I would say, more than the moms do.
I see. Well, I mean, I appreciate the hustle, you know? They got there faster.
Yeah,
so
overtake them. Just do it.
Good on you. So we get this whole like dramatic bows coming down from the mountain. There's a blizzard coming. We have to evacuate. But then they just were like, so we'll just do the challenge over here.
Well, okay, this is what I think was happening. I think that at the top of the mountain, they were going to do the dropping the bombs. What was it? Bombs away. And so they're dropping some colored things into targets. I think they just omitted that part and then just did what they would have been doing after that. And I think they just skipped that part. Route marker, whatever.
Okay. That makes sense because I was like, did someone just print up all new like clues?
I think
as they're ripping them. Part. I was like, who printed these? Oh my God.
They have like a travel printer.
I was looking for like a handwritten note inside being like, okay, so now you're going to build snowmen, okay?
Either that or they have like ready to go alternatives.
Yeah.
Just in case. So either that was the next part of this particular leg or they had a backup.
Yeah, that would make sense. I'm sure you have to have backups.
A few for a lot of different things, especially with weather stuff. Like, yeah, definitely.
So the bus just stops at the bottom of the mountain. They get handed these clues, and they're now going to build snowmen, which is really cute, especially with a group of people who
never seen
just don't know how to handle snow.
And I have to always remember that, like, I've been handling snow for 4 decades. And, like, what you do, I mean, I couldn't tell what type of snow it is. Because if it's too powdery, it is a little bit more challenging to make a snowman or make a ball. But what you want to do is you want to pack the snow tight and make a ball. Actually make a ball. And then you roll the ball in the snow. Like think about if you're, doing any baking, you roll pastries and you can make things get bigger. And so that's how you actually make snowmen or the balls is by rolling it. And like I remember like getting it so big sometimes, like you like get people like pushing, you can get this huge snowball coming up. Like it could be massive if you get a lot of people pushing it. So they definitely did not have the technique because they were just like packing it and trying to make it into a shape. These are like very skinny snowmen balls.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like it was very, very unique, different shapes and sizes, very diverse. Yeah. Yes. But they just needed to know to roll it.
Right. No one knew what they were doing with snow whatsoever. I mean, we do hear from Fliss and Toddy that they actually get snow where they're from in their little country town.
Oh, it was Fliss and Toddy? I thought it was
the country kids.
I thought it was Morgan and Lily.
They're the blondes who lived in Vancouver.
Oh, I thought that was the same people. Sorry. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was 2 different. Yeah, because Fliss and Toddy said where we live, we get snow. And then the blondes are like, we lived in Canada for a while. We know snow. So that was
Fair.
it. Just
That was
those
actually
4.
also really fun for me to hear because, like, one of my best friends lives in Whistler. I go to Whistler all the
Yeah.
time. I know that town really well. So it's nice to know when people have been to places that you've been to many times.
Right? I
Pretty
was like,
cool.
oh, Canada, Chantele, Canada.
I've been there many times, like 100 times.
Now here's a question for my Australian friends. Somebody goes, ooh, look at the trees, which I too would have been distracted. Snow-covered trees are just
It's
magical,
gorgeous.
gorgeous. And they said, it looks like Christmas. And I thought Australian Christmas wasn't cold.
It would be definitely hot, but maybe they have like fake snow that they put on, like
Is that still the vibe of
probably.
Christmas as like a winter white
I mean, I watch The
ordeal?
Housewives, and sometimes they bring snow in to have like a winter wonderland in their backyard.
Oh, absolutely. In Los Angeles, that is a big deal. People bring in snow. But I watch a lot of Australian television, and they'll have these like special Christmas episodes, and they're all hot. And I always think that's so funny. But right? It is. It's in the summer, but I guess like you still look at a wintry tree and you think Christmas. I don't know. I was confused. If anyone understands what that was about,
Or
please tell
maybe
me.
like thinking about Christmas movies, like if they're
Mm,
watching any of those movies, they're all going to be snow filled.
yeah.
So maybe it's just
I mean,
reminding them.
do you sing I'm dreaming of a white Christmas? Like, right? It's a white Christmas. That's
Exactly.
everyone sings that, right? Or do you
That's
have
not my
different
favorite
songs?
Christmas
I don't
carol. I
know.
have that song. No. Oh, you're talking about the Australians.
Yeah.
My favorite Christmas carol actually is "Oh Holy Night." Thank you very
Oh,
much.
yeah.
It's my
Absolutely.
favorite.
That is such a good song. I'm like, oh, yeah, got to get into it. Okay, bus 2 is going to arrive while everyone is still just trying to make a snowman. So whatever lead there was is gone.
Oh well, oh well. I mean,
Yeah.
they weren't good at making those snowmen, but they had to make it a certain height, so that was one of the requirements. And then they really just had to stick in a carrot and twigs and put a scarf around and a beanie. We call it a toque. But a
Mm-hmm.
beanie on the snowman. It was a pretty easy challenge. I was surprised that some people struggled as much, but they have never seen snow before, so they don't know how to handle it. But
It is tricky. It's not what you think it is. So it does take, some time, like a learning curve to figure out how to work it. But yeah, it was surprising. The hubbies are going to finish first with their beautiful Samantha. Uh, she looked gorge with her large carrot nose. Then our cops second, our church friends third, and our married couple are going to be fourth there. Crystal and Reem are getting past. They're struggling. And then the last back of the pack are the mullets and the bar mates.
man, like sometimes I just want to I want to help some of these people sometimes. Can I help you?
Right?
Help you. I want you to stay in the race. I want you here. Do.
Well, the buses are going to make it a little bit interesting here at the end because once again, we're going to do bus 1 and bus 2 to the pit stop. So everyone just has to hustle here at the end. It's a foot race in the dark, which is got to be harder because you just don't know where you are or where you're going. But
at least they've been there before because they're returning to their previous pit stop spot, I believe, because it says back to the church for the pit stop. So there would be a little bit of familiarity with once you get closer to it. Absolutely. I understand obviously being turned around and it's nighttime and you're in a foreign country to not be able to get your bearings really quickly, but they were returning to a space where they've been before.
Okay, good to know. Missed that. Well, that does help. So bus 1 here is going to pull up and Maury and Paco, our hubbies, are going to make it up to the top in first place. Lauren and Steph, our cop couple, they're going to come in second. Good for them. Angel and Frankie, our church friends, are third. Heath and Tony, the married couple, are fourth. And our top 5 here, Chelsea and Jameis, are engaged parents. They figured it out. They made it through.
figured it out.
They
Like,
turned that Greek around.
they definitely did. Like, I was worried for them, as they were probably worried for themselves when they realized that they spent the money that they needed for this leg of the race. And so the fact that they're back at the top of the pack, I'm happy for them.
Yeah. Kelly and Georgia, our newlywed teachers, come in 6th. Flick and Gabby, our barista sisters, are 7th. This was kind of a surprise.
The snowmen that took them down, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
they really struggled. It shouldn't be that hard.
Shouldn't be. Like, I did teach my niece and nephew how to make a snowman recently, and I think that they got the hang of it pretty quickly.
Figured it out.
Yeah.
Well, this is when the second bus is going to arrive. Again, this doesn't seem like a lot of time is in between here, because the 8th team on that first bus is the aunt and niece, Tammy and Cynthia.
They're the 9th. Oh, sorry, never mind.
Yeah, so they're team 8, but team 9 is going to pass them, basically going up the hill. So this bus 1, bus 2 thing is just not separated that much.
Or people got really lost running around these streets in Greece.
I guess we didn't see a ton of that. But Tammy is going to be pushing Cynthia up this, because Cynthia's over the stairs of all of this. So Morgan and Lily are blondes. They're going to pass them, and they're going to come in 8th. But Tiffany and Cynthia are going to make it to 9th, so they don't lose a ton of space here, a ton of spots.
I feel bad, but I was hoping that they were going to do worse. Well, because I was getting worried with what was happening, right? I was getting worried.
10th place, top 10 here. Fliss and Toddy are country kids. They made it in the top 10, knowing how to handle snow. So that maybe helped them a little bit. All right. Yeah. Now it's going to start to get a little nerve-wracking with these last teams trying to run up this hill together. Jody and Claire are boat moms. Good job at getting in here at 11th.
Okay. I was like, okay.
Yes. Crystal and Reem, 12th place. Middle Eastern ladies. Good job. 13th place, Tammy and Vince, our scientists. They are going to make it. Now we are shown this foot race between Stuart and Glennon, our Baru mates, coming up behind Sam and Stu, our mullet friends. And this is very hard to watch, because you just see that Sam is not able to run as fast as anyone else.
It was honestly, it was so heartbreaking. I like, it wasn't like just like a tear streaming down my face. I actually got like kind of cry, because like he was just trying so hard, and he had all the heart, and like his partner was so supportive, and I can totally feel like Stuart and Glennon didn't want to overtake them, but they wanted to stay in the race as well. So they had this moral pull as well. And it was just like, it was really not a team. Like, I just want to see him go out this way, because
no, exactly.
It wasn't like he wasn't trying hard. He just couldn't physically do it. And it was really heartbreaking. As you can see, it still gets choked.
I appreciate your emotions. I wish I had emotions because that's how I feel inside, is that I don't want it to come down to a disability. Like, I'm so appreciative that they brought on someone with dwarfism, because we just don't get to see people with any disability run these shows. Big Brother, Amazing Race, Survivor. They just don't cast them. And that's unfortunate. I don't like that. So when they finally get an opportunity to bring these guys on who are like so great, and his buddy carries his pack for him, and like they've been friends since they were kids. I mean, I just love their story, and for that to come in and be a factor in their elimination just like doesn't taste right. It just doesn't feel right.
Especially since the last episode. Like, oh, come on. Like, I don't know. So that's why that's what I meant by, I was like, I wish they finished worse, because I felt so badly for Sam, both of them.
Yeah, I know. And Stuart and Glennon are like struggling coming up the hill. Like one of them's knee is hurting. And so I'm like, I don't even know who's going to come in last here, but I love both of these teams. And so when, you see the bar mates, like they step up there and they don't even seem happy about it.
No, they're just kind of like, it's just, they didn't feel good about it. And like, even Bo was like, oh, you're not really excited to, step on the mat. Because like they knew that they were more able to get to the mat first.
Yeah. So when Sam and Stu do finally get to the mat, and they're told that they're eliminated, you can tell they're just like, well, this sucked, like they did the best they could. And I kind of like mentally had to remind myself, like they struggled earlier in other tasks. It wasn't just that they got,
but there were so many stairs on this particular leg that, they mentioned a few times so far this season that his legs are half the size of most of the other people competing there. And so stairs are very challenging for him. And so to know that people were struggling with stairs that have full-size legs, like, he was trying twice as hard for the entire leg, or the three legs, basically. Like,
this entire 3 episodes was all stairs.
It's just really unfortunate that it didn't play to other abilities that he would be able to maybe excel in. But like the whole 3 legs were stairs and hills. Basically.
Yeah. Very unfortunate. Sad to see them go. Glad that they were on casting, good casting choice. I enjoyed them. They made mullet school for a minute for me. So that's something.
That is something.
Yeah. So next week they're headed to Turkey.
Ooh.
We see that there's a food challenge. Of course, Australia loves it.
I don't know. Is it food or is it like intestines?
Well, right, but it's something.
I mean, I guess it is food. I can both things.
It's a digest something. Well, so interesting to see how next week will go. Overall, Greece is beautiful. Can't wait to go there myself.
Agreed. Check. It's on my list.
Was there any teams that like moved up your list or moved down your list?
It was just, so my list was the Dragon Boat mums. Definitely just like enjoying what they're bringing so far. And everybody else that I still like, I still like. I generally like most of the teams here. The people that are not really, I don't really care that much for, is the aunt niece combo. I'm not personally loving the Kelly Georgia combo. Everybody else is, I don't necessarily enjoy that much of Heath and Tony. They're okay. I'm always happy for them when they do well, but I'm not really like, they don't really show that much of their dynamic, so like I don't know, I don't feel for them that much, but I think that they're pretty good racers.
Right. Yeah, I think they're good racers for sure.
And then everybody else, like, I already like, I think.
Yeah, that's what, because I was sad about both of these eliminations, that I was like, well, I'm gonna be sad because I like so many of these teams. So it is tough. There's very few that I'm like, it's okay if they go.
I can lose maybe the blonde sisters, or they friends, blondies, and I could lose the country girls. I just don't know anything about them. I don't know what they look like right now. I don't know what their dynamic is. So
yeah, I definitely need to see more of them in the edit. I need to see more from the aunt and niece in the edit to make me want to root for them. I do like what I'm seeing from the blondies. They seem fun and cute. I just need more. And same thing with like Kelly and Georgia. Like I'm going to need more from them in the edit before I can decide if I'm rooting for them or not. It's that kind of stuff. And the aunt and niece, like you got to give me something so I can root for you.
Exactly. So that's I feel the same. basically.
You know, our Middle Eastern ladies are adorable. Like our hubbies are adorable. The boat moms are adorable. I love the cop couple. Like there's so many couples
The
that
cop couple
are
is growing on me as well because like they actually run a pretty good. They're pretty good,
yeah.
and they're quite positive. So yes,
Exactly.
they're still haven't shown enough for me to be like fully shipping them, but
Right.
like they're moving up for me.
And I need to the jury's out on Angel, waiting to see what kind of character she turns out to be.
Yeah, like I'm interested in them being the villain. So like I'm finding it fine. Like, what is she gonna do now? Oh God, she's gonna rub
Yeah.
someone the wrong way. So I'm just kind of looking to see how she's going to mix up the dynamics.
Yeah.
I don't know if I actually like them as a couple or like as a racing couple. So,
Right.
but I like what she's bringing to the show.
You gotta go full villain. Just
Yes. I hope she just does. Just like,
I
like,
just don't think she knows she's supposed to be the villain. I think she's
come
like,
on.
what? I'm the church girl.
When
What?
everybody hates you, you're the villain.
She's figuring it out. All right. Well, you guys, we should be set on a schedule now. We're all caught up. We will watch the next 3 episodes in real time as they play out next week. And then next Tuesday, this same time, 4 p.m. Pacific, unless something needs to change. It will be 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Australia. Well, y'all have multiple
yeah, 9
time zones, but something like that.
For the most part, 14 hours ahead.
Yay! Thank you, everyone who's hanging out with us in the chat. We really appreciate you guys watching along with us. And if you're watching later, leave a comment. Let us know how you felt about Greece week. How do you feel about these teams? Who are you rooting for?
And how do you feel about the 2 teams that we lost in this week?
Yeah, how do you feel about a non-elimination?
they definitely predetermined. There should not be any predetermined non-elimination legs. Like, how long is this season going to be?
It's Australia. It's going to be a year long, 3 times a week for the rest of our lives.
It's probably just going to be like how many? No, it's going to probably only be like 8 weeks, right? That's my guess. 24 episodes ish.
It's usually 3 months.
I guess you know what they end up doing eventually is they actually pare it down to 2 episodes, I think, or they did it for Survivor, anyways. And so maybe that's how they drag it out for a little bit longer.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll keep up on that. Yeah. Okay. Ellen thinks it's 24. Okay, great. All right. Well, we will be watching. Thank you, you guys, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.